Hello everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to download the multiplayer mod for Subnautica through Epic Games, which was just free. And so we're going to need the three main files is dnspy, Visual Studio, and Git Bash. I will put the links in the description. And I will just show you quick when you are installing the Visual Studio. When it opens, that when you are here to install it, when there will be boxes to choose from, and I will show you which one to select. You're gonna want to select this first one here, this .NET Desktop Development. Don't worry about these other ones. Just make sure that you download this one here, and then you click modify or install whenever it pops up. Alright, so once you open up Git Bash, we're going to type in this command here. Git clone space with your dashes and recurse submodules space, and then the URL of that page, which is going to be this. It'll be the same for everybody. Subnautica Nitrox Git. Just make that bigger. That didn't really do anything. Okay, when typing in this last part here, make sure that you have documents in the Nitrox. Make sure you have the S, that is important. Otherwise, it will just not make, it will clone into the wrong file. And so I'm just going to let this take place here. It might take some time. Alright, it looks like I was done there. So now when we go to our documents, should be in here, not in here. Check the users. And there it is, there's your Nitrox. And you can close Git Bash. I'm going to move this over to my other documents with everything else. And so now we're going to open that. In here, from here, we're going to and then we open up this Nitrox folder. And this will pop up, and that's okay. Just go ahead and click OK. And that's where our file comes from. And so now we can close this quick. And this will pop up. That's perfectly okay. We can actually close this out completely. And so then we're going to want to close this. We're going to come down to this file and right click it and edit with Notepad++. I will put a link for that as well. And we're going to want to find where our Subnautica is located. And if you are using Epic Games, it will be roughly similar to where mine is at. It's going to be in Program Files, Epic Games, and Subnautica. And we're going to come to the top here, just click it and Control-C. Copy that, and then go ahead and paste it right in here, right in between the Subnautica directory line. and then we're just gonna hit save, and then we can close that. And this is the other file. I'll show you what that is. It is going to be in the same Nitrox folder. So back to our document, open up Nitrox, and come down to shared config targets. And now this one is going to be on line 6, and you'll see program files. This is for the Steam version, but since we're using Epic Games, we're going to highlight all of that and just replace it with our directory. And we're just going to save that and we're close it. And now we can reopen this Nitrox. Oh, and there was my Subnautica. I just fresh installed for the video here. Okay, so now in here in the Microsoft Visual Studio, we're going to hit build solution. And it will start building a solution here, which should come up with an error within the first run. Oh, and never mind. This is fine. It's gonna be build in 960. Let me just make sure, as long as none are failed, it is okay. And so now that we are done with that, we can. Alright, so the next thing we can do, we can just go ahead and close out of this. And then we are going to open our DN Spy. We're just going to scroll down to right here, DN Spy application. And once this is open, this is already going to open from when I did it before, so I'll just close that. We're going to go to File. We're going to go to Open. We're going to click on Assembly C#. We're going to hit the search bar and we're going to type in game input, capital G, capital I. And it might not show up, and when you go to the options, when you first type it in, it might look something like this. So you just go ahead and hit the options and then match whole words, and it'll pop up for you. Then you're going to double click that. It's going to say decompiling. It's going to run through. And then we're going to Control F within this top here, and we're going to type awake. We're going to go down to this line here right after, and we are going to hit Control, Shift, and E. We're going to open this window. We're going to keep our cursor right before the if here, and we're going to come down to this little folder, click that folder, and it should still be in our managed from Subnautica. And so we're going to scroll down to Nitrox Patcher. We're going to double click that to open it. And then right after this line down here, we are going to hit enter to make a new line. And we are going to type Nitrox Patcher. NitroxPatcher.Main.Execute And then we're going to have 2 parentheses and then a semicolon. And so once you're here, you're going to hit compile. And it's going to compile down at the bottom, and these 2 errors are going to be normal. Just go ahead and double click and this will pop up for you. And then we're going to delete 9 through 20. Line 9 through line 20. And I just did that just to get rid of the spaces. It just looks nicer. You don't necessarily have to do that, and then when we're done with that, we go ahead and hit compile once more, and this will close. And then you just go to File, Save All, hit OK. It's going to save everything we just did. And then we can go ahead and close that. And now, for the server, I recommend downloading Hamachi. And Hamachi will allow you to create a network with your friends, and they will be able to connect through you using your IPv4 address, which they can right click on your name and copy IPv4, and that's what they paste in while they're inside the game. And so to set up the server, we are going to go to our Nitrox. I'm going to go ahead and open. I believe we need to open up a Subnautica as well. The file location. Maybe not. But when you are in Nitrox, we're going to go to bin, debug, scroll down to this path file, right click and edit with Notepad, and we're going to make sure that this is the correct file location of our game, which this should be correct. Control V, it's the same thing. And so that is good to go. And then we're going to go back to our Nitrox. We're going to go to Nitrox model, and there will be another path file in here. We can edit with Notepad and make sure that this is the correct file as well. And then go into the Nitrox server. Go into that bin, the debug. There's another path. You right click that and edit. And make sure that this is correct as well. And just hit save. And then we can actually work on opening the server. And so if you get this with your server, you know that your server is running correctly. And so that's it. And if we open up our Subnautica, let me add something quick here. Alright, if we open up the game, we can see that we have the multiplayer tab here. So we click on multiplayer. And if you are the host, you're just going to go ahead and click on this local file here, the local server, which is what you're going to connect through. And so this will pop up here, and you go ahead and select your color, type in the name, and go ahead and click join. And what your friends would have to do is back at that server page, they would have to click add a server, and from Hamachi they would right click your name and they would hit copy IPv4 address, and they would just paste that into the IP. And that's what they will use to connect to your server. Alright, and there you go. You are now in your game. And everything works. Let's make sure that there are fish down here. Oh, we got some fish. Got all the noises. We got... Ooh, we got a frozen game. Alright, there we go. And we can get copper as well. We can get ores. You see here, we can go ahead and grab everything else, and the game works. Game works just fine, except for the occasional freezes, which might be because I'm recording as well. We can grab everything. We got all these fish. Fish work, ores work, resources. Everything 100% works. And let's check this server here. See that there is a player 1, which would be me, and I grabbed the acid mushroom. And so, yeah, that is how you install the mod, the multiplayer mod for Subnautica on the Epic's game version. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.